Good morning, dear students. Today, let me start the new chapter Physics, chapter 11 Force and Pressure. Today, I am going to discuss about what is force, how the object moves, what are the effects of force, what happens to the object when we apply the force. As you already studied about the movement of objects, let us recall what is motion. Motion is nothing but movement of the object, the displacement, the change in position of the object. We call it as motion. And there are various types in motion. That is linear motion. Linear motion means object moving in the straight line. That we call it as linear motion. And one more type is circular motion. In circular motion, the object moves in a circular path. Another one is non-uniform motion. In non-uniform motion, there is no particular direction. There is no particular path for the movement of object. So that much we have studied in the earlier classes. And when the object moves, you can compare the movement of two objects. You can decide which object moves faster than which one. How do you calculate the speed of the object? Yeah, we can calculate the movement of object by calculating the distance moved by an object in unit time gives the speed of an object. You can find out which object moves. You can differentiate. You can find out which object moves faster, which object covers the longest path within the given time. That gives the speed of an object. So speed is nothing but the distance moved by an object in unit time. Now let us talk about force. Before knowing more about force, I will give few situations. Okay. So when you are playing cricket or any football or throw ball, okay, when you throw the ball, after some time you might have noticed after throwing the ball, when nobody is applying the force, the ball might be coming to the rest position. Slowly its speed decreases, or sometimes it changes its direction. When you throw the ball, when it hits to the wall, it changes its direction. Or you might be noticed sometimes when it hits on the ground or the floor, its speed sometimes increases or slows down. What could be the reason for this? So what could be the reason? Let us recall some experiences. Okay, how do you increase the speed of moving cricket ball? And how do you change the direction of moving ball? Or in the hockey match, how the goalkeeper stop the ball, or how he changes the direction of moving ball? What he do? He will changes the direction of moving ball with a flick of stick. Or in the cricket match, how the bowler stops the ball, how the fielder stops the ball. He holds the hands in the opposite direction of movement of the ball, or he just keeps the leg in the opposite direction of movement of the ball. So by changing the direction of movement, we can slow down or we can increase the speed of movement. So for all these things, for increasing the speed, for decreasing the speed, or to stop the object from the movement, what we have applied? We have applied the force by kicking, by pushing, by throwing or flicking. We applied the force in these cases in order to change the direction of movement, in order to increase the speed or to decrease the speed of movement. Now let us understand what is force. In order to complete certain tasks in our day-to-day life, we do the actions like picking, opening, shutting, kicking, hitting, lifting, flicking, pushing, pulling. Each of these actions results in some kind of change in the state of an object. So, can you replace all these actions using one or two terms? Can you find out which term we can use to define these actions? Okay, let us understand through this activity. Let us take few situations and in that we can identify which action is involved in it and we can mark it. We can tick that action: pushing, pulling, picking, hitting, lifting, lowering, flying, kicking, throwing, shutting, flicking, like that. We can identify the actions and we can group them into push and pull. We can group the action into push and pull. Which major action is involved in it we can identify. First action is moving a book placed on a table. So how you can move the book? You can move the book by pushing, or you can move the book by pulling, or you can lift the book. So the actions are involved are pushing, pulling and lifting. Second situation, opening or shutting a door. So how you open? You can open the door by pushing, pulling or hitting, like that. So which and all major actions are involved in it? Pushing is involved in it and pull is involved. So yes. Next action, next situation, drawing a bucket of water from a well. How do you draw the water from the well? You will first throw the bucket into the well. Then you will push into the water. Then you will push and pull and you will shake the bucket and then you will pull up. You will pull up like this way you will. So which and all actions are involved in it? Pushing, pulling and lifting, throwing. All these actions are involved in it. Next situation, a football player taking a penalty kick. How? He will push the ball or he will pull the ball, he will kick it, he will throw it, like that way. All these actions are involved in it. So mainly push and pull is involved in it. Next action, a cricket ball hit by a batsman. How he hits the bat? By taking the hands backward and then he'll pushing or pulling, by throwing or by hitting. So pushing, pulling, hitting, all these actions are involved in it. Moving a loaded cart. How do you move the loaded cart? You will pull the cart. You will pull the cart or you will push the cart. So pushing, pulling, you will take the cart, you will move the cart. So pushing and pulling is involved in it. Next situation, opening a drawer. How do you open a drawer? You will open the drawer by pulling. You will open the drawer by pulling. So in these situations which are the major actions are involved in it? Pushing, pulling, lifting, all these, throwing, kicking and all. So it can be grouped as push or pull. Have you noticed in most of the situations both these actions are involved in it? Push and pull actions are involved in it. So how do you move the object? We move the object by pushing or pulling. In science, a push or pull of an object is called a force. So what is force? A push or pull of an object is known as force. So by pushing or pulling we can move the object. So the motion imparted to objects was due to the action of force. And when does this force come into play? In your previous class in the 6th standard, you might have learnt about magnet attracts a piece of iron towards it. Isn't it? Yes, magnet attracts. If you take iron piece and if you bring it closer to the magnet, it attracts towards it. So which action is involved in it? So when the magnet attracts the piece of iron, there is pull. So attraction is a pull. And what about the repulsion between similar poles of two magnets? There is equal amount of push by each magnet. There is also force of attraction. There is pull by each other. Now let us understand how this force of how does a force come into play. When do you say force is applied on the object? Let us take few situations. Consider you are standing behind a stationary car. The car is at rest. Will the car move due to your presence? When you just stand behind the car, does it move? No. There is no movement of the car by your presence. If the car is started only, or if you push or pull only, if you apply the force on the car only, it starts moving. Otherwise, it will remain stationary only. The stationary object will remain in stationary only without applying the force. And in which direction the car is moving? The car is moving in the direction of applied force. The car moves in the direction of applied force. So the man is pushing the car to make it move. There is push by a man. Let me take one more example. In this picture, who is pushing whom? This picture shows that both are pushing each other. So they are applying force on each other. And let me take another situation. In this situation, how do you decide who is pulling, who is pushing? In this case, both are pulling each other. Both are pulling each other. In this situation, both are pulling each other's hand, so they feel the push on each other. There is both push and pull by each other. Let me take another example. When you try to, in this picture you can see the boy is pulling the cow. So what happens? So both are in stationary. Who is applying force here? Who is pulling? Who is pushing? Here both are pulling each other. Both are pulling each other and they are in stationary. So from these example you can understand that, see, when you are in stationary, when there is no contact between two objects, the object will remain at stationary. See, when the car is at stationary and if you are not applying the force, the car remains at stationary only, and when you apply the force, the car starts moving. So there is movement of the car by the application of force. There is contact between the two objects, that is man and the car. From these example, we can infer that at least two objects must interact for a force to come into play. So, when you say the force is applied on the object, when you say there is movement of the object, there should be interaction. There should be interaction between two objects. At least there should be two objects in order to get the result of force between two objects. So that we come to know from these examples. Forces are due to an interaction. There should be interaction between two objects. Now let us explore more about force. Take the example. Take one heavy object and try to push in one direction. Like one big box or the table, heavy table. Try to push alone. You find it little difficult. Call your friend and try to take his help. When you both together try to apply the force on the object in one direction, the object starts moving. Or next, take another example. Now you change the position. You push in one direction and ask your friend to push in another direction. What happens to the object? Apply the force in opposite direction by you and your friend. What happens to the object? The object will remain in rest. The object will remain at rest. When you apply the force in opposite direction with equal amount, the object will remain at stationary. Now you apply more force compared to your friend. You apply little more force compared to your friend. What happens? The object starts moving in the direction. Which direction? In which direction you applied the force? Okay. Now you apply less force and ask your friend to apply more force. In which direction the object starts moving? The object starts moving in the direction of which your friend started pushing. Or you might have played this tug of war match. This is the best example to understand it better. When both the teams apply equal amount of force, what happens to the tug? The tug will remain at rest. When team A applies more force and the team B applies less force, what happens to the rope? The tug moves towards the team A direction. The tug moves towards team A direction. And when the team B applies more force, the tug starts moving towards the team B. Now take one object. Ask the help from your friend and try to push the object in one direction. What happens to the object? The object starts moving. And ask your friend to pull the objects from another side. Now take the object and both of you push in opposite direction. What happens to the object? The object remains constant. So I can say that force applied on an object in the same direction add to one another. When you apply the force in the same direction, the force will be added. And whenever you apply the force in opposite direction, the net force acting on it is the difference between the two forces. Whenever you apply the force in opposite directions, what happens? Who apply the force more, who pull the object more, in that direction it moves. Who apply the force more, in that direction the object starts moving. So I can say that if the two forces act in the opposite directions on an object, the net force acting on it is the difference between the two forces. And in the tug of war match, whenever two teams whenever two teams pull equally hard, the rope does not move in any direction. The rope will remain at rest. So what is the reason? As I told, whenever you apply the force in opposite direction, the net force acting on it is the difference between the two forces. So the equal amount of, when you apply equal amount of force, the net force will be equal to the force will be cancelled by each other. The both applied force will be cancelled by each other. The strength of the force is usually expressed by its magnitude. So we learned that a force could be a larger or smaller than the other or equal to each other. Sometimes the force will be larger, sometimes it could be smaller, sometimes it could be zero. The strength of the force is usually expressed by its magnitude. What is magnitude? Magnitude is the number or the quantity, how much. That tells us how much amount of force is applied. We have also to specify the direction in which the force acts. There is direction for the movement of force. There is a direction for the force. The force acts in, we can make out in which direction. There is direction for the force. We use the direction to specify the force acting on the object. So we can say that force has both magnitude and direction. So I can say that if the direction or the magnitude of the applied force changes, its effect also changes. If the direction or the magnitude, if you change the direction, the net force will be changes. If you change the magnitude, the applied force, if you change the magnitude also, the effect of force changes. So I can say that if the direction or the magnitude of the applied force changes, its effect also changes. And in the box there is one question. Does it mean that the net force on an object is zero if two forces acting on it opposite direction are equal? Yes. Whenever you apply the force, whenever two teams apply equal amount of force in opposite directions, the net force will become zero. The force can become zero. So the object will remain at rest. The next concept is a force can change the state of motion. Force can change the state of motion. Let us understand through this activity. Okay, take a rubber ball, place it on the level surface and apply little force. And you have to observe what happens to the speed of the object while when time passes. You can see that as the time passes, there is change in the speed of the movement of object. There is change while moving. There is change in the speed of an object. The beginning speed is not equal to as it after few seconds. The object does not have the same speed during its motion. You can observe that when the object moves, after some time its speed changes. So when you just touch the moving object, what happens? There is sudden gradual decrease in the speed of the object, or there is change in the direction of object. When you hold the hand, when you place your palm in front of the moving ball, there is change in the direction of motion, or there is change in the speed of moving ball. Similarly, you might have seen these examples, these situations when you watch the cricket match or when you watch the football match. Whenever the batsman hits the ball, there is certain initial speed for the ball. As the time passes, as the time changes, there is change in the speed of the ball. The speed keep on decreasing, and when the fielder tries to stop the ball, there is sudden gradual decrease in the speed of the object, or there is sudden change in the direction of movement of the object. That you can see when you play this game. So you can observe that this observation suggests that a force applied on an object may change its speed if the force applied on the object is in the direction of its motion. When the applied force is in the direction of motion, there is change in the speed of the object. It may increase or it may decrease. The speed of an object increases. These observations suggest that a force applied on the object may change its speed if the force applied on the object is in the direction of its motion. The speed of the object increases. So whenever once you apply the force, the object starts moving. After few seconds, again you apply the force in the direction of movement. What happens? Again the speed increases. Also, whenever you apply the force in the opposite direction of movement of the object, there is decrease in the speed of motion. There is decrease in the speed of motion. So these examples you can see when you are playing cricket, football, or whenever you play with a rubber tire. When you apply the force in the direction of motion, there is increase in the speed of the motion. Whenever you apply the force in the opposite direction of motion, there is decrease in the speed of the object. Now let us do the activity 11.4. Take a ball and place it on a level surface. Now make the ball to move by giving a push. Now place a ruler in its path as shown. Now place the ruler in its path as shown in the. Now you take one ball, place it on a level surface and make the ball to move by giving a push. Now place the ruler parallel to the ground. Hold the ruler parallel to the ground and apply the force on moving ball. Does the ball continue to move in the same direction after it strikes on the ruler? No. When the ball strikes on the ruler, it starts moving in the opposite direction. And whenever you change the angle of striking the ruler, the ball moves in the opposite direction. It forms a certain angle and it changes the direction of motion. It does not move in the same direction of motion. So we can conclude that in all these examples, the speed and the direction of moving ball change due to the application of force. Whenever you change the direction of motion, the speed of an object changes. or whenever you change the direction of motion, the speed changes or the state of the object changes. So we can conclude that a change in either the speed of an object or its direction of motion or both is described as the change in its state of motion. So either when you change the speed of an object or when you change the direction of motion, there is change in the state of motion. It may come to the rest or it may start moving. What is state of motion? The state of motion of an object is described by its speed and the direction of motion. So what does it mean? You can make out the object is in which position, whether it is in moving position, whether it is in motion or it is in at rest. You can make out the state of the object whether it is in motion or it is at rest by knowing the speed and direction of motion. You can make out the state of motion whether it is at motion or whether it is in at rest. The state of rest is considered to be state of zero speed. When the object is at rest, the speed is zero. So the state of zero speed. Whenever the object is at rest, the speed of the object is zero. An object may be at rest or in motion. There is two states in motion, that is, the object either it might be at rest or it might be at motion. And there is one more question. Does it mean that the application of force would always result in change in the state of motion of an object? Let me consider. You will try to push the wall. Are you able? You are applying the force, isn't it? Yes. When you push the wall, you will apply the force. But is there any change in the state of motion? No. What is the reason? Because the force applied by you is not enough to push the wall. The force is negligible because the wall is strong. That is why your applied force is very small compared to the strength of the wall. That is why. Or whenever you apply the force on the heavy object, if you try to pull the table alone, you might be find it difficult. Or when you call your friend and try to pull together, there might be change in the state of motion. The table can move by using the application of double force. So whenever you alone try to push the table, you find it difficult and the applied force is less. That is why the table might be stay stationary. And whenever you and your friend apply the force, whenever you and your friend push the table, you can easily move the table because there is the applied force is sufficient to move the object. That is the reason. So whenever the applied force is more, the object can change the state of motion. Therefore, in some situation, a heavy object may not move even if you apply maximum amount of force. So there is no effect of force on the object. There is no change in the state of motion of the object when the applied force is not enough. Okay students, in today's class we have studied about when does the force come into play and what happens to the object when you apply the force in different directions, and how the force plays an important role in changing the state of motion. Okay, we have studied till now. Okay, in the next class, let us learn more about force and its type and its application. Okay, students, thank you.